Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm. In this video, we are going to actually start building out some of the helper functions in our GameLogic method, or in our GameLogic class. These helper functions are going to allow us to format our output in certain ways and accept input specifically the way that we want to. So let's just start right up here at the top. Let's start at our read int. Now, here's some things that we're going to need though. Later on in this class, we're going to need some important things. So first, we're going to need to instantiate or bring in our scanner. So import java.util.scanner. And let's go ahead and instantiate that right at the top. Static. Static scanner reader equals new scanner system.in. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And what else are we going to need? I think that's all we're going to need for this read int. Okay. So let's go ahead and get rid of the return 0. Let's build out this method. So what this method is going to do is it's going to use the try catch to determine if they've typed in an integer, and if not, it's going to say, please enter an integer. We're going to wrap all of this in a do while loop just to make sure that we give them the opportunity to try again. So first we need to start with an input, and we'll say do system.out.println, and it's going to be the prompt. Okay. We'll try input equals integer dot parse int reader dot next. Okay. So we're bringing in whatever they've typed and we're parsing it as an integer and we're putting it into the input variable. Okay. And we will try to catch that. Oh. Catch exception E input equals -1 system.out.println please enter an integer. Okay. And then while input is less than 1 or input is greater than user choices. So we're going to be able to tell them, you have two possible choices. Return input. Okay, so this method right here, all this is going to do is it's going to bring in a prompt, and then it's going to bring in user choices. So let's go to our main method, and then let's actually grab that. So GameLogic dot, what did I call the method again? Read int. GameLogic dot read int. And the first argument is going to be the prompt. Enter an integer. And the next thing is going to be, let's give it an option of 3. So let's test out this method to see if it works. Okay, enter an integer. I'm going to type fart. Please enter an integer. Okay, I'm going to type -34. Please enter an integer. I'm going to try 7. Please enter an integer. I'm going to try 2. And it works. So this is testing to make sure that we're typing actual numbers We're testing to make sure that it's a positive number, and we're testing to make sure that it is within the range that we've set. So that method works perfectly. Great. Go back to the game logic. Let's create clear console. This is going to be super easy. It's just a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than 100, I plus plus. It's just going to system.out.print line, and it's going to be an empty print line statement. So all this is going to do is it's just going to print 100 empty print lines. That's it. So we could actually, let's go back to the main. Let's copy this. Game logic dot, clear console. That's what I keep forgetting the names of the things that I'm doing. So, and then game, we'll just paste this in. So here's how this is supposed to work. So it's going to say read or enter an integer 2, and now notice that it printed 100. It printed 100 new lines. So it basically pushed that text off the top of the screen, and then it showed up down here. And so now I'm on to the next statement. That's what clear console is going to do. And our game is actually going to be run down here in the bottom of the screen. It's going to look a little bit weird, but it'll look nicer once your brain gets used to it. Okay, that works. Let's do our print separator. This is going to be pretty easy as well. So for another for loop, int I equals 0. We'll say I is less than n, because we're going to bring in n as an argument. I plus plus. And system.out.print line, and we're just going to print a hyphen. Okay, so the way this is going to work, we can call this in our main game logic.print separator, and we're going to give it an argument of, 20. And we can get rid of, actually, let's just get rid of all of these for now, just so we can show. Here's the problem though. Did I do a, I know what I did. Check this out. So I don't want them to go there. I want them to go sideways. So I need, instead of a print line, for that to be a print. There we go. So that's my separator. So I can print, I can do print separators. And I can do this one as like 10. And then do a 20. And then in between, I'll do like a system.out.print line. This is my game. So we're just going to test out those print separators again. Come on. Interesting. Oh, you know what I should do? Yeah. Let's go back here. Outside of the for loop, after the for loop, let's type another system.out.print line and leave that empty so that we automatically go to the next line. There we go. So that's what I'm looking for, right? We can create separators of varying lengths. They go to the next line. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Now on to the print heading. And you know what? Having these print separators here is going to help us with the heading. All we have to do, let's copy that. And actually, we don't need to copy game logic because they're in the same class. Let's go back to the game logic. Let's start with a print separator of, 30. And then system.out.print line. and we'll print whatever the title is, and then we'll do another print separator of 30. So now what we can do is with this print heading, we can just call print heading and it'll create all this for us. Game logic dot print heading, and I will pass in my game, my awesome game. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, perfect. So now we have our print heading. Let's do our anything to continue. Now, I played around with this one a ton. This one is going to get a bit annoying. So the anything to continue is probably the best way to handle this issue. But when I'm playing the game, I want to be able to type out like, you know, hey, what's going on? Or, you know, I just want to be able to hit enter to move on. Now this, we're going to have to actually type a character and then hit enter to move on, which may be a bit annoying, but it's kind of the best way I've found to solve this problem. I've played around with this a bunch, but this is probably the best we're going to be able to do. So print line. Let's do a new line here. Oh, let's do a new line first. Enter anything to continue. And then reader dot next. Okay. So that is the anything to continue method. All right. Let's see, where are we at on time? About 12 minutes. Let's see, should we... Yeah, let's do this. Let's get into creating the beginning of the game, the start game method. Oh, the print menu. Let's do print menu first. That's going to be definitely... Yeah, let's do print menu. Where are my notes on that? There we go. Okay, so print menu. Here's the way this is going to work. Print menu is going to require some variables. So let's create some variables first. So print menu is going to need, we're going to need let's create a version or instantiate our player real quick. I don't know if we're going to need that for the print menu, but we will need public static Boolean is running. So we're going to need to know if the game is running for that. Then we need to create an array of random encounters. Random encounters, public static string, encounters equals. Now I'm going to have 3 battles, 2 rests, and 1 shop. 3. This is just going to make it so that there's a 50% chance that we're going to get into a battle, and a, I don't know, 2 out of 6% chance, so a 30% chance that we're going to get into that we're going to be able to rest. And then shop. And we can adjust these later if we feel like those are weird. Those don't work. Let's do enemy names. So another array, static string enemies. And we'll just have a couple ogres, couple goblins, throw in a stone elemental. Now, obviously for these, you guys can type whatever you want. You can make your enemies whatever you want. And we're going to have different enemies based on the different acts that we're in. So, you know, this is fine for now. We're probably going to change this later on. So you're not fighting the same you know, 3 or 4 enemies over and over again. Okay. Then the last thing we need is we need to figure out what place we're in and what act we're in. So we're going to need variables for that. So we'll call these story elements. Public static int, place. We'll set the place equal to 0 at the beginning. And then we'll set act equal to 1 at the beginning. Then we need an array of places that we're going. So public, static, this is going to be a string array, places equals, and we'll say everlasting mountains is the first spot for my game. Then we have the haunted swamp. Then we have the castle of the evil emperor. Then we have the throne room. Right. And so again, these places are going to be different for you. Just these are the ones that I'm using for my game. All right. So now that we have those variables established, now we can actually create the print menu. The reason why we need those first, though, is because this print menu requires some of those variables in order to print what we need. So first, we're going to clear console, then print heading, and we're going to pass in places, place. So that's why we needed that. We needed to know what place we were in and what, anyway. Places, place, and then system.out.print line. You have player.xp, which we have not established yet how much XP they have. We'll do that soon. Okay. Now, this is going to be mad at me because I don't have... I have a player. I've instantiated the player. I don't want to create the player yet. Let's go ahead and let's ignore this part first. Let's just put in a to do. Check XP to advance. Okay. And for to-dos, I like to put comment here, so it's easier to see that there is something there to do. Okay. So then we can build the rest of the menu. Print separator 20 system.out.print line, choose an action. This is going to be the main menu of our game. Print separator 20 system.out.print line one. Continue on your journey. Let's copy this. Two is going to be character info. And 3 is going to be exit the game. Now, we're not going to take in their input yet and verify what they've chosen. Oh, that needs to be 3. This is just going to print these options onto the screen. That's all we want this method to do. Plus, check their XP and advance them if they need to, whenever we get to that point. The game loop itself is going to call this method, this print menu method, and then accept their input and do all that stuff, which we're not going to worry about right now. Let's let's go back to our main, and instead of print heading, let's call that print menu class we just created, print menu, and see what that looks like on the screen. All right, so everlasting mountains, choose an action, continue your journey, continue. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I like that. Okay. Next. We're at about 20 minutes. Let's see, what else could we actually get done today? What should we get done? We've done a lot. The start game method, should we try to start building the start game method? I'm kind of just asking myself. I'm just kind of talking out loud here. We can build. Yeah, let's build the start game method real quick. Why not? There's no reason why not to. We have some time. Okay. So I'm going to start with asking the player. Well, I'm going to give them some info, and then I'm going to ask them what their name. So what I need is Boolean. I need a Boolean to determine if their name has been set yet. Name set. We'll say equals false. We're going to use this later to give them the opportunity to create or to retype their name if they don't like it. String name. We're going to print a title screen. So we'll do clear console. Then print separator. Let's give this a 40. And then let's say 30. In between those, we'll do system.out.print line. And I'll say age. Oh, I'm going to all caps this, make it nice and pretty. Age of the evil emperor. An adventure game by Mr. Storm. Cool. And let's do a couple more print separators down here. Let's do 30, 40. And then we're going to use this anything to continue method we created. Perfect. Now we want to create our player. So getting the player into the game. We're going to do this in a do while loop. So first we're going to try to basically ask them their name. Clear console. Print heading. What is your name? Name equals reader.next. Oh, what's going on here? Sync to shared. There we go. Okay. What is your name? Name equals reader dot, let's do next line. Okay, and then let's ask if the player, if the user wants to change their name. Sometimes people enter things that, maybe they're not too sure about. So we'll clear console again. And then print heading. Your name is name. Is this correct? We'll do system.out.print line. And we'll give them some options. One, is yes. System.out.println 2 is no. I want to change my name. All right, then int input equals, we're going to use that read int method that we created. So we'll give this little arrow as their selector, or the thing telling them that they have to, this is what they're going to type. And then we're going to give them two options, right? So either 1 or 2. Those are the only two options we're looking for, 1 or 2. That is it. If input equals 1, then name set equals true. So we're going to turn that Boolean variable to true. Okay, and then so this is our do while name set is false. So that loop is going to basically take them through creating their, or entering their name. All right, then from here, after we're done with that, we want to print the first part of our story, story.print intro, which we don't have an intro yet. So print story intro. And we want to create a player. So player equals new player and pass in the name. Then we want to print the first act intro. So story.print first act intro. We're going to set this is running. Where's the, oh, we established it in the class. So that Boolean at the top of the, we're going to set this to setting is running to true so that we can start our game loop. So is running equals true. And then we're going to call our game loop. So start the main game loop. Okay, so that was a lot. So let's just go over what we've done. So in the start game method, we are going to create a flag that is going to check to see if the name has been set. We're going to create a string variable called name to store the name. Then we're going to output this kind of title screen. Then in a do while loop, we're going to check, we're going to basically ask them to enter their name. And then we're going to give them the option to change their name. If they want to change it, then we'll let them do it again. If not, then we break the loop. We print the first part of the story. Then we establish, we can actually instantiate the player before that. It doesn't really matter. But we print the first part of the story, instantiate the player with the name, print the first act intro, which actually gets us into the game itself. Set our is running flag to true so that our game loop can start, and then we call the main game loop. Let's go to game loop and just put a system.out.println. This is the main game loop. And then let's go into our story and do system.out.println. This is the intro. And then in our first act intro, let's do, let's copy this, paste that. This is the first act intro. Why is there a B there? Okay. So that should be all we need to test this game. So if we come over here and instead of print menu, if we call the start game method and run it, it should work exactly the way we expect. Uh-oh. I forgot my semicolon. In the game logic class, in the on line 176. So game logic class, line 176. Yep, I forgot the semicolon. All right. Hello. There we go. Age of the Evil Emperor by Mr. Storm. Enter anything to continue. Oh, hello. Something happened there. It didn't wait for me to print my name. I have a feeling that is the fault of this next line. Let's change that to a next on line 96. Change that to a next, and let's try it again. This is why we consistently test everything we write so that we can find any errors that we make, right? And look, I've been programming for, 20 years now at this point, and I still consistently make errors. All right, what is your name? Now it's allowing me to type my name, so I think we've effectively solved that problem. Your name is David, is that correct? No, I want to change my name. 2. And I don't know why. I want this to probably be on the same line. Let's check our readInt method here. Let's make that a print statement. So it's better to fix these things as we find them than to be stuck with things we don't like and then have to try to fix them later. All right, enter anything. I'm going to try multiple names here just to see if that messes up anything. See, it ignored Storm, and it automatically entered Storm as my response for this question. And so it says, please enter an integer. That I'm actually okay with. We'll keep it to one name or one word names. Yeah, I'm actually okay with that. So let's say, sure. This is the intro, this is the first act intro, this is the main game loop. Okay, so then it calls my other methods exactly the way they're supposed to. Beautiful. I don't know what this... Go away. Anyway, so at this point, we have a game that can actually start running. Now, it doesn't do anything yet. We have a lot of methods we need to finish. But we've done a lot today, right? So the only thing that we need to fix later is this print menu. We need to use this check XP to advance. That's all we got. I mean, that'll be easy once we establish our player class and everything else. But yeah, I think we're at a good point. So let's go ahead and cut it here. And then in the next couple of videos, we'll begin fleshing out the rest of the game loop, creating our character, creating our enemies, setting up combat, all of the fun stuff that makes an adventure game a fun game to play. All right. See you next time.